providing information covering events, activities, and news from Columbus Consolidated Government. You're watching Ccgtv News Watch.
Good afternoon, and I want to say thanks to you for being here regarding this press conference of this hit and run fatality. I want to begin by saying that we want to extend our condolences to the family of the victims. This is a tragic situation that no parent or loved one should ever have to encounter. On this morning, shortly after 8 a.m., our motor squad unit was dispatched to the 4100 block of Steam Mill Road regarding a hit and run involving pedestrians. This area is near Southern Pines Drive. Upon arrival, our investigators found an 11-year-old male and a 13-year-old female lying near the roadway. The female was pronounced deceased on the scene. The male was taken to a local hospital and since that time has been flown to an Atlanta area hospital for treatment. The next of kin has been notified. The students attended Rothschild Middle School. What I want to say to you, our citizens, if you saw something, say something. Anyone with information regarding this hit and run pedestrian fatality should call the Columbus Police Department at 706-653-3300. That's 706-653-3300. Another number you can call is 706-225-4040. That's 706-225-4040. Those numbers will connect you to our patrol division and our motor squad division that's handling this hit and run fatality. I want you to know that we're committed to finding the person responsible for hitting these kids and leaving the scene. And today we have with us Dr. David Lewis, Superintendent of the Muskogee County School District. We have Chief Greg Arp, the Chief of the Muskogee County Police Department. And we also have our City Manager, Isaiah Hughley. So are there any questions at this time?
Chief, I have a question. I know the city has been or planning on installing cameras throughout the city. Is there any cameras in that area? And if not, are we planning on putting cameras in that particular area?
So the city does have a technology package that our police department is definitely on board with. And we are implementing in phases cameras throughout our city. In that particular area, we have not placed the types of cameras that we're going to place, but we will be placing cameras throughout our city in our different phases as we go forward.
Catrice Nolan with WTVM, do we know at this time the car that we're looking for, a description of the vehicle, a tag number that people can be on the lookout for?
Well, at this time, we are still investigating the incident, trying to gain additional information regarding the suspect vehicle, But at this time, we do not have that information. We are seeking anyone who has knowledge of this vehicle to please contact the Columbus Police Department.
And, I'm sorry, can you talk about also the seriousness of leaving the scene of an accident and the charges that could follow with the death, number one, of a fatality, and then leaving the scene of an accident?
Right, so leaving the scene of an accident is certainly something that we do not condone, and we will hold individuals responsible. But when it involves a fatality, there's more severe consequences that will result. And of course, our investigators will investigate each case to determine the proper charges to apply. But leaving the scene of an accident is a very serious offense. And we take this offense, this incident today, very seriously, and we are committed to ensure that we find the person responsible for this accident.
Can you possibly specify which hospital the male was taken to, and what if he's taken to the trauma center in Atlanta?
Well, at this time, the child was taken to a local hospital in Columbus and was flown to an Atlanta area hospital.
Is there any names?
We're not going to get into the name of the hospital. Okay.
Were the victims related?
The next of kin has been notified regarding the deceased, and so that's the information that we have to give at this particular time.
In terms of the people who live in that area, who I spoke to earlier today, they have said that fatalities and hit and runs have happened quite often, and accidents on that street has happened quite often. He asked about cameras, but also what about speed issues in that area, and maybe what the police department possibly plans to do about that?
Right, so we know that in the past we have investigated fatalities on that stretch of Steam Hill Road. Our officers do monitor that area, and we will continue to monitor that area. And as I stated previously, we are in the process of increasing our technology package for that area as well as other areas in our city.
This may be more.
And Mr. City Manager may want to elaborate a little bit more on our technology.
Well, I'm Isaiah Hughley, City Manager of Columbus, and the question was asked about previous incidents for fatalities on Steam Mill Road, and we have had some. And because we've had some in the past, we moved to deal with making Steam Mill Road a safer street and improvements on Steam Mill Road. And you may know that we recently, in May of 2022, had the Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax on the ballot. And in that Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax, we included $22.5 million to make improvements to Steam Mill Road. And you know that the citizens said yes to the Transportation Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. And so we are moving forward with that project. Though the collections do not start, we don't start collecting until January of 2023. My team got on the phone this morning. They called the Georgia DOT and shared what has occurred here in Columbus, Georgia today, yet another fatality. And we have gotten a verbal approval from Georgia DOT to move forward with our plans for Steam Mill Road even before we start the collection in January of 2023. And so there's $22.5 million to be collected, but we are going to start the design phase even right now to address the concerns that we have on Steam Mill Road. And so some of those improvements include a center turn lane on Steam Mill Road. It includes a 10-foot wide sidewalk on one side of Steam Mill Road, a 4-foot wide sidewalk on the opposite side of Steam Mill Road. We will have roundabouts on Steam Mill Road at Dogwood, at Southern Pine, at the entrance to the Shirley Winston Rec Center. And those roundabouts will help to slow down traffic, but the turn lanes, we're going to have the decorative lights, and we're going to have trash receptacles and benches, and it's going to be a different street when we spend that $22.5 million to make these improvements on Steam Mill Road that will make it a safer street to travel. And so I wanted to share that with you. On Tuesday night, October 11th, from 5 until 6:30 at the Columbus Baptist Association, we will have a public meeting next Tuesday to share some of the design improvements that we intend to make on Steam Mill Road, and we're inviting citizens to come out to that. And so I wanted to address your question in saying that, but then I am here representing our mayor, Skip Henderson. Because of his previous schedule, he could not be here, and this was obviously short notice, but a tragic happened here in our city this morning, and we are saddened by that tragic. But the mayor has had multiple conversations with me this morning. He has had multiple conversations with the chief. He will be reaching out to the family and the school district and others. But we wanted to say, the mayor wanted to say that, first of all, on behalf of the mayor and the 10 members of council, we want to express our heartfelt condolences. Our prayers and thoughts go out to this family. And the mayor wanted to share that we will not rest. We will not rest. We will not rest until the responsible party has been apprehended and we take them forward and have justice served. We will not rest. We are not going to tolerate the speeders and school zones and what happened with these 2 young children this morning. We will not rest. And so the mayor could not be here, but he wanted me to deliver this message. And so we're happy to answer any further questions.
I just want to come forward on behalf of our Board of Education, myself, and all of the family of Rothschild. It's obviously a tragic day for Rothschild Middle School, for our entire MCSD family, and the community at large. We need the person who did this to come forward and accept responsibility. And for anybody in the neighborhood or anybody that may have been driving by that area, if you have seen or know anything or hear something that you may hear second or third hand, we are asking you to please report that. We need to apprehend this person. These families need to have peace, and it begins with some of this justice that needs to be obtained by apprehending this suspect. And I am just so sorry. Our thoughts and prayers go to the family. Nobody should have their child heading to school and get the news that they didn't make it there. And I just can't imagine anybody hitting 2 children and driving away. All of you out there have children of your own, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, grandchildren. It could have easily been any one of them. So we're asking for our community to step forward and help us to identify and bring this person to justice. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
Chief, I know y'all have at least 2 other hit and runs investigations still underway from the past 2 months. What is the typical closure rate of hit and run investigations within the department, if you happen to know?
Well, of course, we investigate our cases to the fullest extent, and we follow every lead that we're presented with. And we close the case once we are able to obtain all the information that's necessary to be able to bring the person to justice by arresting them.
And then a follow-up question. You said they were lying on the side of the road. Was this at a bus stop for schools?
Well, this was in the 4100 block of Steam Mill Road near Southern Pines Drive in that area. Okay.
Thank
Yes.
How long, or do you know how long they were laying in the road before it was reported to, I'm assuming 911? And who seen them? I guess you can't answer that question, but how long were they reported? How long were they laying there?
Well, at this time, we would not be able to answer that question. Are there any other questions? Comments? Again, thank you for being here today, and I just want to reiterate that we will not sit by and watch hit and run, fatality, vehicle crashes, and not do anything about it. Men and women of the Columbus Police Department are working hard each day to ensure that we can provide protection to the citizens of our community. We will not rest until this person is brought to justice. Thank you.